Hey guys, welcome to an episode here on the Mindful Chiropractor. Excited to have you here. As each week, we come out with some topic, a concept to help you level up in your practice, in your life, as we discuss the 5 elements of life, which is going to be your mission, your mindset, your movement, your money, and your relationships, or known as your marriage. So this week, I wanted to talk about something that I've been working with a few clients and talking and discussing and really unraveling things to know where you are. And there's something I want to challenge you as a chiropractor, because you're not just a chiropractor. Unless you're working for another chiropractor, you're an entrepreneur. And you have to think like an entrepreneur. And too many times, this happens to entrepreneurs too. My years of coaching, the last couple of years of coaching over 100 entrepreneurs. One of the things I've learned is that they have these principles to where they're stuck in their business, right? They can't, their job is their business. And too many times chiropractors fall into that same boat. I call it just being a chiropractor, because you can be a chiropractor, you can be an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is going to level up in all areas of their life. The chiropractor is just going to be, that's their job. They have to be at the office no matter what happens and so forth. You're not dictating what you want in your world. You're doing what you have to do to keep your lifestyle and so forth. And so in this concept, in this discussion today, it's one of the things where we have to shift gears and start to look at how to be an entrepreneur. How can we look at this perspective? And one of the things that I do, that I've actually started tracking this, and I started to look at how much do I invest in me. Okay. Now, entrepreneurs are always looking to grow. They're always looking to evolve. They're always looking for the thing to help them level up, right? And so this is something you can do. This is going to be self-inventory. You're going to look at yourself and say, what is something that I enjoy? Notice how I'm saying here, I enjoy to do, but I don't feel strong enough in it. This can be anything, right? Because there's so many levels to being a chiropractor or being an entrepreneur. There's so many things you can learn. There's marketing. There's day-to-day stuff, right? Techniques. There's the science. There's the art. There's the philosophy, right? Then there's also, when you look at your different aspects of business, there's also communication, right? How can you be a better communicator? The psychology of a patient. There's all these different things that you can do, right? Then there's self-help and personal development. You got to grow yourself. So what things are you feeding? There's so many ways we can go. Do you have a coach? Do you not have a coach? I'm a personal believer. You should have a coach all the time. I've never I had a coach before I even came out of chiropractic school. I've never not had a coach in my career. I've always had coaches, because if Michael Jordan does, if you look at Tom Brady, if you look at these really elite individuals, even multimillionaires and billionaires, they have coaches that help them on all areas. And the reason why is because they want to be the best they can be. And if you can do it, if you think you can do it on your own, kudos to you. But a coach is going to find your blind spots and help you level up and get there faster. And that's one thing I love about having coaches. And that's what I love more about being a coach. It's what inspires me, because it's like, I just had a conversation with someone, and it's like within 30 minutes, we were able to dissect, and one little micro change was able to help level up their business. Literally no change in anything in the business. Just looking at how business was operated, we're able to level up their business by over 135% per month, just by one little tweak. That's the beauty of having a coach. And so how much do you invest in yourself? And the more you invest in yourself, the more you're going to level up, the more you become a better doctor or chiropractor, a better entrepreneur, a better husband, wife, spouse, partner, cousin, aunt, son, daughter. You can become better in your physical health, your mental health, and so much more. And the more you invest in those things, the better business and money is going to flow. You see, too many times we're always looking for what's the next thing to make money? What's the next thing to gain this? What's the next thing to get new patients? What's the next thing to do that? And there's nothing wrong with that. It's a business concept. You got a business, you got to run it. But what I've learned over time, and I've not only that I've learned this, I've been there, because I've been the guy who was trying to learn how to grow my business, make as much money as I can to level up. And then what started to happen is parts of my life, other areas were breaking down. And I was like, I don't want that. If this is what I have to do, there's got to be a different way to do this. I'm not going to do it that way. And so I started to focus on me. I started to focus on my mindset. I started to focus on my relationships. I started to focus on my physical health, right? And then I started to look at my own purpose in life. Okay. There's my purpose of who I am. And then there's my purposes in the 5 elements of my life and the mission of why my business exists. What is the purpose of it? And how does it serve my main vision? Okay. And I started to focus there. And that's where all of a sudden profits doubled, tripled in 1 year. Who wouldn't want that? And guys, it's not like I just started my business. I was already in business for 5 years. And then I tripled my profits in the next year. Okay. And then I did it 2 years later. I doubled my profits in the next year. So I've done this twice in my career. And I always had growth in my business every single year. And there was only one time that it dropped, and it was because of me. It wasn't because of anything else. I changed my whole way of doing things. So it's one of the things where you look at how much do you invest in yourself? This last year, I've invested over $50,000 in myself. That's right, $50,000. Now, that may not be a lot to some, that may be a lot to some others, but I'm not here to tell you that to impress you at all. What I'm telling you is that's how invested I am in myself. And when I finally learn, grow, and evolve in those ways, then all of a sudden, I then start to change pricing on things because I've grown. That has to reflect that. So if you're in an office, you invest in yourself. Let's say you've been practicing a new technique. You've really been looking at the science, or you got a new certification, or whatever that is. And now all of a sudden you're like, you know what? I'm going to increase my prices by $5 a visit. Now, it doesn't seem like a lot, but let's say you see, I'm just going to low numbers here, 100 a visit. And 100 visit. Let's say you get like 100 patient visits per month. Okay. You multiply that by 12, that's 1,200. You multiply that by $5, $6,000, right? But now let's, if you're doing that, that's fine. But $6,000 may be doubling your profits. Let's go ahead and look at that. Now let's multiply that by 1,000. Let's see, 1,000 a month. You see in patient visits, $5, just that alone. All of a sudden now that becomes $60,000. Now that covers your investment. There's things you can look at and different metrics you can play with this and how to improve. Sometimes it's, I do more examinations now, or I've gotten better at something. I'm going to change my fee and how I charge my first visit. And now that may be, I charged about $250 for a new patient. We did some specials during COVID, but originally it was $250. That's what it was. Why? Because I wanted to make sure the right people are coming into my office. If they're going to pay for that, they're going to probably most likely come. And some people say, well, that's why your conversions are high. Well, my conversions were still high even after when we discounted our price all the way down to $47. Still had a 98% conversion rate. So it's one of those things where it's the communication side of things of what you do. But that's how you level up. And the more you level up, the more you invest in you, the more on return. I'm not saying the goal of, is to make your money back in a year. It's you're investing in yourself. So this is a continual process. But look at areas of your life that you enjoy doing. Remember, you enjoy doing. The things you don't enjoy to do, if you have to do them for financial reasons, do them. But make a plan to delegate that out as soon as you can, because it drains your energy and it doesn't allow you to evolve to the next level. A lot of times chiropractors do that. Entrepreneurs do that. I've done it. I sometimes still do it in my other businesses. Sometimes I'm like, I'm just going to do it myself and so forth. And then it's like, I start calculating the numbers of how much I'm losing money per hour of what I get paid per hour. And then I look and say, well, if I do this, I could have just delegated that off. And so I'll be like, well, those are expenses. And it's like, yeah, but guess what? I'm losing out on creativity. I'm losing out on working on the business, right? Because there's a difference from being in the business. And if you're in the business more than you are on the business, that's a problem right there. And that's probably why your business isn't growing. And it could even be declining because of that. So you want to make sure you take time to work on the business. And there's some topics I will talk about that in my next podcast with you guys to share the importance of on the business tasks and activities and how to structure that in your life so that you can level up. Okay. These are all mindset type processes. You have to have the mindset right, because I can tell you all these things and that's great. You start running around, you go on a hamster wheel and you just keep doing everything everyone's telling you to do, even when I'm sharing here. But then there's that clarity side. Why are you doing what you're doing? What is the purpose behind it? How does it align to your practice's vision? How does it align to your purpose, your personal vision? If you don't have those answers, you got to go there first. That's the stuff you need to work on, because a person without a dream or a vision will perish. And so, it's I forgot to Proverbs something, but it's one of those things where you have to have clarity in your vision of where you want to go and how you want to go. And when you do that, then everything else will change. And then you do the action and it's smooth. It's seamless. Not going to say always, but for majority of the time it is, because you're going down now the path of least resistance. because you have crystal clarity in where you want to go and what you want to do. So I'm keeping it a little short today, but that's what I have for you guys. So the key thing is find the things you enjoy in business that you like. There are some things, like for me, I'll share an example. I love creating Excel sheets. I love looking at data and numbers. I'm very good at it. It's crystal clear. I don't have ties emotions to it. So I can talk about my practice doing this or that, but it has to go to the numbers. I look at the numbers and it's like, okay, cool. How's that metric looking out? Then I do something, I test it, I look at the metrics, see how it changes. So I get into these things often because I want to see how things are moving and what's happening. And so these are things that you want to do. There's other things I just don't enjoy doing. And some of it, it's like, I have someone who does my posting for me for social media. And the reason why is because that's something I just don't, to do just the little things all the time. I can have someone do that. I'll come in with some bigger stuff if I need to, but it lets me focus more on my creativity and creating videos for my patients and building up the continuing education and feeding them information, while someone can just go ahead and do my social media for me and take care of that. So there's things you have to look at and what you like and don't like and go from there. So have fun with this. Let me know what you think. And as always, I appreciate y'all. And until next time, keep rocking and rolling.